All right, everybody. So this is the first time I'm doing a vlog. I'm pretty excited about it. New kind of video. Always cool to try something new out. So if you guys don't know me personally, and if you have not read the descriptions in any of my videos, I am a graduate of Berklee College of Music. And now that I've been out in the real world for a couple of years now, one of the things I do, among the many hats that I seem to wear, is teach private instruction. Teach some lessons, have my students, and a lot of my kids ask me if they should go to Berklee. So I've been asked it enough times that I feel like it's worth making a video out of. So yeah, let's talk about it for a little bit. Do I think Berklee College of Music is worth attending? 110% yes. But before we continue, we should understand that I'm somebody who has gone to Berklee, who has graduated, so it may be a little bit biased. But I think there's some good points in there. I think it's a very good idea for any musician to pursue their dream. And you know, I guess point one would be you, somebody who's watching this video, is somebody who is contemplating, should I pursue this? And you know, you're very much aware of all the old school mentality about, oh, is there a career in music? Is it worth pursuing? Or, you know, you are aware of the expense. You're aware of how much it costs to go to Berklee. You're aware what your financial situation is. And, you know, I feel like you have to trust yourself to know what's good. I feel like if, you know, all of us musicians have this unexplainable infatuation with performing music, with being involved in music, because music is such a great thing that everybody in the aspect of life enjoys music. Like, you could be a dentist and enjoy listening to the Beatles. You know, something about being a musician, you just thrive on that high and that you know, that feeling of just being in it. So for that to resonate so strong with you, where you're even contemplating about pursuing Berklee, I think it's worth looking into. I mean, obviously I would recommend going to the school, checking out the school, seeing the vibe, and while you're there, you know, try to talk to some faculty. And that's another great point about why I think you should go to Berklee if it was something that you were considering, is because the faculty they have there is fantastic. You know, Berklee is a contemporary music school. And what I mean by that is, you could take an analysis of prog rock class. You know, like, you can't do that at Juilliard, you know? And nothing against Juilliard, it's a fantastic school. But what I mean is, there's a lot available for everyone. And you have faculty members. Like, I was a guitar performance major. So it's like, you know, you have a guy like Joe Stump. Okay, Joe Stump is a phenomenal musician, but his vibe is very neoclassical shred, a la Yngwie Malmsteen. Like, he is top notch. And if that's the thing you're into, you could study with Joe Stump, somebody like Joe Stump who would help you get to where you want to be in that landscape, you know? And it's like, say you tried him and you didn't like it. You were like, you know what, man, this isn't for me. There's so many other faculty, and just in the guitar department alone, that you could study with to learn from, to get out of it exactly what you want. It's such a diverse place. I know I said that before, but it's like really strong point there, is that you have so many more options to do what you want to do when you go to Berklee in that aspect. So it's like, that's great. And, you know, I was a performance major, so I can only really speak to that performance aspect. But, like, you know, the main part about being a performance major at Berklee College of Music is that the private lessons are the one thing that, like, you know, the performance majors have full 8 semesters of private instruction. And the greatest part about when I went there, at least the guys that I studied with privately and taking guitar labs, was that all these guys wanted to help me be the best me I could be And like, I know that doesn't sound like a really big thing, but like, if you think about that, they were like, hey, what do you want to do? That's what you want to do? Let me help you get to be that, you know? Let me help you get there. You know, fortunately, for me at least, I've actually stayed in contact with a lot of these great people, and, you know, I'm proud to and honored to call them my friends, and, you know, they still give me advice if I ever needed to seek out advice. You know, and that is the same way across all the departments, you know, because, you know, whether you're in the woodwinds or in the bass or you know, the drums or vocal department, you know, everybody's the same way, where they're just trying to help you get to where you're going. And I think that's a really great thing. And, you know, and the way I could say that confidently for another point is my friends, you know, your peers. It's another great point of why I believe anybody out there should go to Berklee. It's a positive experience. When you go to a school like Berklee College of Music, you know, you're going for the education purpose of like, I want to be better at this thing that I'm trying to be as best as I can at. You know, the education part, the execution, want to learn more. But a big part about that is not only the teachers and the faculty, it's also your friends. You know, they're your connection. And the connections, I should say, they're your connections. And, you know, man, just as much as I've learned from my professors, or I learned from my professors, I also learned a lot from my friends. Like, you know, oh man, I can't figure this out. James, can you help? They're a really big aspect of your life, and that is while you're at school and after school. I feel like they really keep you on your toes. Like, when you go to Berklee, if you're somebody that goes to Berklee, I personally believe, I could be wrong, but when somebody is interested in Berklee, I always like to say, like, they're their all-star in their hometown, right? So you got to think about it, like, you're probably the best saxophone player in your jazz band. You know, like the ones that they'll, you know, the music director will always fall to. So it's like, you know, you're like, oh, I'm used to being slightly above the other kids in my class. And then you go to Berklee and you're surrounded with a whole bunch of other all-stars from everybody else's whole hometown. So you're like, whoa, it's a really big, it's a mind blow, because you're like, wow, okay. I thought I was a big fish in a small pond, but I'm just a small fish in a big ocean, you know? And it's a good thing. I personally think it's a good thing, you know? It's always good to have that motivation of, you know, keeping up on your stuff, because, you know, you never want to be left in the dust, and you see other people do it, and it's also inspiring. It's a good environment to be in. And, you know, you got to say, Boston is a really big college town. If you're somebody who's in high school watching this, there are a lot of people in Boston who are also having the experience of going away with you, you know, because it's really, like, you know, it would be safe to assume that this is the first real big, you know, growing up part in your life, where everybody, you know, you're living on your own. Maybe you're not living with your parents now because you're from Washington, so you're living in Boston and you're on your own, and you're there with a bunch of other people that are also doing it. And I feel like that makes it a little bit easier to get more situated in that environment and being used to doing that. And it's very nice to not feel so alone because of that. A lot of people are afraid. I'm going to just hit the big horse right now. A lot of your family, you know, not to everybody, but like the big thing that comes up with family, close friends, when you tell them you want to go and pursue music. You know, we've all heard the stories of somebody going, oh, I want to pursue music. And you know, a response that somebody might get is, why don't you pick something a little bit more stable? And, you know, I personally don't get that. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it in like regards of, I don't really know. I mean, like, if there was a safe route to go, I feel like all of us would have went it. You know, you could get yourself a bachelor's degree. You know, a 4-year bachelor's degree that somebody else gets from any other school, you still have. So if you wanted to be like me and get a performance degree from Berklee College of Music for whatever your instrument is, you still have a bachelor's degree. So you could still work. You know, it would be easier for you to get a job as opposed to if you didn't go to college and just trying to perform straight out of high school because you have a bachelor's. You know, you could work a day job to make your bread, to make your money during the day, and pursue your performance career at night. You know, go and play your shows, play your gigs. I'm sure. I think there is an option that you could do 2 years, like, you know, just get like a diploma where like you just do the music stuff and not the liberal arts stuff, and that's like, for people that don't know, that's like, you know, your English class, your history, your math. But you could do that, and you can get yourself a bachelor's degree. And to me, I think that's 110% worth it. Does it cost a lot of money to go to Berklee College of Music? Yes, it does. It does cost a lot of money, especially if you stay the full 4 years. It does. But at the same time, there's scholarship opportunities. There are merit scholarships. You know, there were third-party scholarships where you could like just try to get a scholarship from an outside source that isn't the college to help pay for your college. You know, and that's something to talk to your guidance counselor about, or your college advisor. You know, what are things I could do to help? And, you know, if you're somebody who is very on top of things like that, I feel like doing this isn't so far-fetched, in my opinion, at least for me personally, and this is all from my perspective, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, please. From my perspective, I would rather try if I had the means. If I had the means and it was something that was not going to hurt me, I would rather try than to not try if it's something I really wanted to do. Go check it out. They also have these summer programs, like, you know, if you can't get them this year because it might be a little too late, they have the 5-week, they have the guitar sessions. There's so many things that they offer where you could go and basically get a taste of it. And, you know, maybe that might be a better idea if you're, say, a junior in high school and you're like, I don't know if I should do this. You know, you try out one of these things at the summer, like the guitar sessions for a week. One of my students is doing the guitar sessions over this summer. And it's a good thing, like, you know, because it's like, he gets to go for a week. If he hates it, if he goes in day 2, he's like, oh my gosh, I can't hate it. At least he's only there for a week, you know? He's only there for 7 days, and then that's it. He gets to go back, and he knows that's not for him. So, just to say, yes, I believe you should at least apply to Berklee. But in closing, to just wrap this up a bit so it's not a ramble video, I would also say that I know tons. I'm from New York. I know tons of musicians, and I have great friends that play many, like, you know, a plethora of instruments. Like, some of them are multi-instrumentalists, and I know a bunch of really great instrumentalists, vocalists that have made a living for themselves in music that did not go to Berklee. So, I think my point is, if music is something you love, whether it's at Berklee College of Music or anything, or you know, whether it's at Berklee College of Music or anywhere else, I personally believe you should pursue your dream. So, yeah, keep playing music, follow your dreams, and if Berklee College of Music is something that interests you, I wholeheartedly think you should definitely try pursuing it, or definitely look into it. Thank you guys, and I don't know if these vlog things are going to come back. It was definitely an interesting first time for me, but I'll see you Friday with another music video.